Yeah.
And with that, are you know, the referees out there, are you looking to try and build on their knowledge as well?
Absolutely. I'm currently trying to develop in the area in Seattle as our referees are coming up, and we're building on that because the foundation always seems to be the referees. And the next step, it's the players just develop from that.
Perfect. And World Cup 2024, you in?
Absolutely.
Before we let you go, Atis, I understand you've got a very special shirt you want to show us. Look at this. Why?
Amazing.
What's the inspiration behind this?
So there's a good team called the Pizza Cats that showed up in Spain. It was our first European tournament, and one of our rules is always be catting, the ABCs of Pizza Cats.
Amazing. I feel like that should be a mascot. Someone's going to try and get that off you today.
Atis, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I'm really glad to have you over from the States as well. What a treat.
Thank you.
That is. Thank you very much. Right, Ben, I think it's almost time to get going, is it, for the next game? So I'm going to hand over to your commentators. We've got Jono, and Jordan is now in the box for this one too.
Thanks very much, Ian and Ben. And Jordan is with me for this mixed open game. It's the Netherlands taking on Wales. And Jordan, we were just saying, this is the time we've seen Netherlands.
I think it's they're our favourite team. I've really enjoyed watching their games. We had them against Ireland on day one. I think we had Switzerland yesterday, if I remember. A loss against the Irish, and then they beat Switzerland yesterday. I think we've got Fons on us from Netherlands up for an interview after this one. She's currently in at link. She has been playing wing, and she's been an excellent finisher for the Netherlands, and so far. But at the minute, she's starting link. They've got a little bit of an interesting tap-off move set up here in Netherlands. They've actually got a guy on the wing, two boys in the middle, two girls at link. So let's see what they go into here, because they've obviously got something set up.
Here we go.
Yards on one. And they'll work their way up the box here, so they're just using that as a little bit of a set-up play to go into their attacking strike move, and it's a 32 short. Good start from Netherlands. That is awesome. I tell you what, that's how you start a game. They've got a tap-off move. They ran it. They scored off it. Perfect start.
Perfect start for them. And Wales second in the table behind England. Netherlands fifth. And we're on day 3. It's getting to the important part of the competition now, with regards to qualifying for the semi-finals on Saturday. Netherlands will want to try and get something out of this game to keep the pressure on, because they're just outside that top 4 at the minute. I think obviously we saw Wales this morning. Good dive, really good dive. So we saw Wales this morning against England, and you'd probably say that they're the top 2 teams. On the other field behind us, actually, we've got England mixed open against France, and they're probably the other 2 in that top 3 bracket. I think, like you said, you'd like to see Netherlands push Wales a little bit and see what they can do. Well, it's 1-1 here as Wales scored straight from the tap off, but we're going to head over to the studio, and Ian has got a guest with him.
Thank you, Jono. Now we continue. Maybe the European Championships are actually going around the world. We've just been to Seattle in the United States, and I'm delighted to say we got to Berkey here, all the way from New Zealand. And you're a top elite referee, aren't you?
Yeah, mate. I've been very fortunate to be able to take this opportunity to come over to the Euros. I'm part of the FIT, or Federation of International Touch Commission, part of the referees panel group, and we're just taking this opportunity to come over here and develop our referees and also our referee coaches within the tournament.
So you're playing a vital role in making sure everybody's following the correct guidelines, giving that correct coaching. What's the standard been like here this week?
Oh, I tell you what, I've just been totally impressed with the level and the standard of the referee group here, and I've certainly made that mention to a lot of the referees that you guys are doing fantastic. I've been really impressed by the development that has occurred over the last few years. It's come along in leaps and bounds, and a lot of these referees, you know, the European referees will do well at our next World Cup.
How long have you been involved with touch?
It's probably a bit too long, actually, to tell you the truth. My path as a referee started back in let's say 98, and since that time I've refereed at New Zealand and at nationals, but also continued to internationals as well, and now I look to using that skill set as a referee into the referee coaching. In a way that journey's become full circle. So from as a referee now to a referee coach, and with that being able to pass on their knowledge to our referees.
So if I was watching this and think, yeah, I fancy giving this a go, how would I get involved with refereeing?
Oh, that's absolutely simple, and it's something that we need a lot more. Going to your local provinces or counties within your country, speaking to the right people there within your national touch organisation, and go down to your local park or your local affiliate, talking to the people down there and just getting involved. A lot of the people that we see are ex-players that that have, let's say, completed their playing career but still want to be involved in the game, taking that opportunity to pick up the whistle.
Fantastic. Well, look, we really appreciate you coming all the way from New Zealand. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, won't you? We're going to hand back to your commentators for the rest of this game.
Thanks a lot, Ian. Cheers.
Welcome back. It's Wales who are now in the lead, and after the great start by the Netherlands, Wales have struck back with 2 tries of their own, and they are narrowly in front, and they have the ball again on their own 7-metre line.
Yeah, Wales just looking a little bit more composed, probably the more experienced team of the two. Got a good transition towards the box now, and they can work their way into 4 and 5 now.
And they're
here comes 5th touch. Middle scoop. Loss of possession at the roll ball. Referees missed it. Wasn't looking at the roll ball.
Oh, great pass.
Netherlands a bit disappointed with that.
Emilio Graterol putting the ball over, but it was a great back out pass.
Yeah, it's a shame one of the sideline refs didn't pick that up, because that's a loss of control. That's not a roll ball. The referee wasn't looking at the play. Middle cut though. It's a lovely middle cut, and yeah, the Netherlands middle just biting a little bit too hard on that, and they'll probably try and break into that tap off move that they've had a little bit of joy with, and get a 32 short there, and they'll break back into their 2-man plays, and it's a little pick up to the short side, but Wales have got that covered. Good defence from Wales.
Yeah, so Wales taking control of the game after Netherlands had the really fast start, and in the context of how this tournament is set up, Wales currently in 2nd place in the table, Netherlands 5th, and we were saying earlier that Netherlands are really going to be looking to get something out of this game if they want to try and get into those semi-finals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice play. Big pill from Roberts. We saw that this morning. He's got a great right to left pill, and that's a beautiful pass.
Rachel Thomas Evans popping the ball down, but yeah, it was all about the pass from the middle there.
Yeah,
and
really
we'll see
nice.
It again here.
It's I think it was a 32 short with an early release, and that's so nice, right to left. Clinical from Roberts, and when we talk about box office players, he's it for the Welsh Mixed Open.
Indeed, we saw it earlier today.
So now Netherlands will go into that tap off move that they had a bit of joy with, the 32 short, and they'll go short side again. See, that's what they scored off on the opening play, their only score at the minute, and they've tried to run the same thing. It probably wasn't the right option that time. They're a little bit too far right to actually run it there. Quickie play a bit too tight in that corner there, and the referee's going to call obstruction. Just ran behind his own player there.
Wales start again. Once again, they're very deep.
Wait for the mark.
Little chat with the officials there. 7 minutes gone.
Oh, so Netherlands will get possession back. Not too sure what that was for.
I'm sure Netherlands won't complain. They've got a fresh set of 6 from the 7 metre.
Yeah, that was an interesting call, that, but good defence from Wales. The middle's up, getting up and advancing. Oh, that hole was on. That was a tough one. That, I think Lindsay Schrader's got to tip that one on. So they'll go back to the 2-man plays, and both Wales links really deep. And they try the quickie on the other side. Good feet.
I think
I
he's
thought
down.
he stood up really well, but the referee's called touch.
No.
Really nice feet. He stood up.
Reagan Kirk, yeah, just turning really quickly.
So they go back the other side, quickie play, same again. They create that hole is really loose for Wales. That hole between the middle and the link, it's really loose. And I think if I'm Netherlands, I'm going to look to exploit that. Good tip on. Wales will work their way to the box. Good D, good pressure from Netherlands. Oh, good yards.
Because we saw the game earlier, and it was an astonishing game this morning between England and Wales. 12-11 finished to England.
Yeah, just going back to that one, I think it probably was my favourite game of the week so far. A joy to watch, and just prime time players going back and forth. It was great to be a part of that. One of those games you want to be involved in. Tip on that. Netherlands trying to get over to their box, but Wales retaliating with a good bit of midfield D. Fonsonger's just taking that in, and that's a knock on at the roll ball. The referees missed it again. A few errors at the roll ball from both teams here that they're getting away with.
It's coming through now, and that is definitely a roll ball.
Yeah, that was one. It's a shame that for Netherlands. They were making a good few yards and they just lost the touch count a little bit. Got to press that. They've got a guy on their own. I'd be looking for a little bit more pressure from Netherlands there in midfield. You've got to shut that down. If there's one player on his own, stranded, you've got to put that pressure on and chase him down. Dan Roberts back on for Wales. Doggies on the far side link. There's your space. Good defence from the Netherlands. Nice and tight on that sweeper coming round. I'm not sure what the count is here. It looks like it's last. They go middle cut again. Good defence from the Netherlands, but it's back to 1. That's a killer.
Yeah.
That's a killer. And you've just given one of the best players in mixed touch, Dan Roberts, a full set of 6.
Taking it patiently so far.
They'll go back to that punish.
They're going to go down through the hole, and I think that is going to be down. Yes, it is.
Really nice. To tell you what, we saw it this morning, but I think it's Owen Carroll, number 8. He's got such a good dive, and Dan Roberts can kind of direct him around. You kind of see him drift off to middle and let that play unfold, and he can kind of coach his way through that little section, especially when the defence on that side is quite loose, and if you can utilise one of his teammates' skills, which is Carroll's dive, you might as well. Netherlands back into a quickie play and trying to get both middles up. They do. Ball down. Referee's got that. Referees give it. Good score.
So Netherlands are back within 3. The second score of the half.
First time they've had a little bit of joy with that. They've tried it a few times. Just a standard quickie play in the middle, split to the outside, step back in the middle, and we've seen it a few times from Wales now, but it's not been exploited, where they're just a little bit loose in defence, whether it's between that middle channel, middle link. It's just opening up a little bit. Netherlands haven't been able to exploit it. That's the first time they have. Into a sweeper. Roberts feeds.
Wales coming back this space here. Oh,
great ball.
Quick hands.
Been given as a forward pass. It's a really nice play, that.
But no try given. So Netherlands have the ball again. But Wales looking threatening when they come forward.
They do, yeah. And the thing is, if you think back to that game this morning, I don't want to say they only looked threatening when Roberts was picking up, but they looked a lot more threatening when Dan Roberts was picking up from half and running counties. So we'll probably only see if Wales think they're under pressure or if they think they need scores when Roberts starts doing that. If Wales feel comfortable, then you'll probably only see Dan Roberts setting up sweepers and feeding. They don't want to be using him and sort of exerting him on day 3 when they don't really have to.
It's important now about
great what a kill that is off his left hand, link hole. You love to see a link hole score, and if we go back to this play, it's a 33 scoop, so we're going to drive straight in for James Enyon. He's going to go to his left, come off his left foot, and now he's got a 4-on-3 to pick from. Right option, link hits the hole well. Great score, great touch score.
It's a 6-2 Wales lead. And what you were saying there about Dan Roberts is they're not going to want to overexert him, and in day 3 of a tournament like this out of 5, it becomes important now about conserving energy, doesn't it? But with the games to come, because you don't want to enter those sort of knockout phases and be absolutely beat.
Definitely, yeah, and you don't. We're talking about it on day 1. You want to be on Saturday as good as you were on Tuesday. I know you're not going to be, but that's kind of what you want to be thinking. And especially, you know who your strike players are, you know who your star players are. It's which is quite similar to basketball in that way, that you've got your big players, that you know, your Michael Jordans and
your LeBron James.
But then you have your supporting cast, and you know who you know your role. People have got roles and they want to perfect it, but
you need your Scottie Pippins and Dennis
you
Rodmans
do,
as well.
yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
A great score to Netherlands.
Good score.
Back within 3.
I enjoy off that quickie play. But yeah, like going back to that, and let's have a look at this score. So quickie to the outside, step back to the middle. We talked about it before. That middle to link hole, that first gate. It's not being closed by Wales, and it's the first time Netherlands have exploited it. I think I'd really be looking at hammering that if I'm Netherlands. But yeah, just going back to resting players and sort of looking after your star players, it's something you've got to do. It's part of the game. Good D from Netherlands, really good D. And you know, you can see Dan from here. I'm sure he won't mind me picking up on this, but he's got strapping around his knee, and people like that. You'll see that more on Friday, Saturday. Players will start having a little bit more taping and little niggles that they've picked up on throughout the week, pre-existing injuries that they've brought into the tournaments that are starting to grate on them, and it's just part of the game. And you've got to conserve yourself. Counties, Roberts over the top. Good feet, but he's not been able to score off that one. It's good D from Netherlands. I think Roberts might have noticed that the wing was open here. Rachel Thomas-Evans is in a little bit of space, and he goes back to the same play. He looks to the relay. Good play from Wales. Good
superb
score. Good execution. That's a great score. So it's a good variation of the play he ran previously. It's a counties play. So Roberts is going to be live on this one. So he's going to step infield. He gets a 4-on-3 and he rips straight to his middle. Now he's got a 3-on-2 and Wales executes it well. And Netherlands just a little bit slow to assignments on that one and not been able to put it under enough pressure.
You know, I thought that was a great play by Amberley Rook though, because she could quite easily have gone over the line herself, but she thought, no, I'm going to make sure we actually get the score here, and passed it out left to Amy Rees.
You're dead right. It was, you know, that we talked to the other day about transferable skills from touch to league to union, and ball
gone wide. Touch claim.
Like completing a 2-on-1, that's as transferable as it gets, and that's awesome. I believe I might be corrected for this one, but I believe Amberley Rook has played rugby union at quite a high level, and I could be corrected on that later, but yeah, I believe she has, and you could see it. There's really good skills, and when she comes on, she ball in 2 hands, she works hard, she runs hard, and Yeah, really nice.
Wales.
So they go back to that middle play, and it's working well for them. That middle cut straight through. Look for your mirror. Amberley Rock's got free, but that's good D from the Netherlands, and they'll get a repeat set of 6. Will Wales, and he's not happy with that. So just over 2 minutes to half time. Wales.
Yeah, Amberley Rock play for Wales.
Yeah, I thought she did. Yeah.
Don't you just love having the internet on your phone?
No, we remembered that. We knew it. James Enyon then, he once he looks back on this, he'll realise the space was to his left. It's nice coming off your left foot, big hard step, and then throwing 4 on 3, but that counts his relay then. That could have been a carbon copy of Wales' previous score. They go 32 long with Enyon again. He comes off his left. Link
great.
Wide open.
Into the space.
He's made me eat my words there because he's he's done what I didn't think he should have done the play before. So they've run a little bit of a different play, but he's looking for the same result. 32 short. Enyon's looking to catch the ball and come outside of his opposing middle. He's come hard off his left foot and created a little bit of a 4 on 3 opportunity, and he's picked his holes so well. I mean, Netherlands on that far side, they're not putting too much pressure on the Wales ball players to throw 4 on 3 at the minute. So if I'm Wales, I'd be wanting to go back to that link channel as much as possible. 32 short from Netherlands, but nothing on. And a bit of a dead touch there. So
Final minute of the first half, and it's looking comfortable for Wales at the moment, but we saw in their game earlier today where they were where Wales themselves were 4 down at half time, and came right back into it. And Netherlands have got the quality where they could do exactly the same.
Yeah, no, like we said, we keep saying it with tap-offs in the second half, but if Netherlands can just put them under a bit of pressure and turn the ball over, yeah, we could definitely see a good second half. But Wales look really strong here. They look composed. They know what they want to run, and they're executing well. Roberts from half picks up, throws a passive line at the back. Ooh, that could have been interesting.
Almost an
That
interception.
could have took us into the second half with a bit to think about. But Wales will probably have one play here.
Yeah, shame it didn't come off, because if you think Netherlands then sprint the length of the pitch and put that down, the momentum that gives them going into half time.
Definitely, yeah. Good D from the Netherlands. The reset and Amberley caught.
And that is half time.
Yeah, interesting first half. I think I don't think Wales had to dig too much, and like we said before, with Dan Roberts, you can kind of get a sense of where Wales are at in the game, because they've not had to dig too much into their playbook, and especially when he's on with his pod, and James Enyon's pod, it seems to be their other strike player. Sorry, he's a big fan of coming off his left foot and throwing left to right, and he's reading which holes are open really well at the minute, and it's that foul link hole against Netherlands, and if I'm Wales, I'd hammer that home in the second half.
This is the 7th game for all the teams, and of course this is the biggest competition in the European Championships. 10 teams in the round robin, so each team will play 9 games. They're only going to have 2 games tomorrow, right? Before they go into the playoffs and semis on Saturday. So looking at it now, we have Bulgaria against Ireland earlier, which Ireland won, which started round 7. We've got 3 games happening now, and then at 5:15 on field for Scotland against Switzerland. Looking at the table, England 6 from 6, and you've got to say they are probably nailed on favourites to make the semis and probably the final as well.
Yeah, I think that's who I'd be looking at as my favourites, my team to beat. I mean, after this morning, I think I'm going to try and see if we can find the England v France score. But at the minute, I think a Wales-England final, we'd love that. Especially if we can see a repeat of the game this morning. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting division, the mix so far. I think England up until this morning weren't under a great deal of pressure, and now.
Well, Wales are in second place, and that loss, 1 point loss against England, is their only loss of the competition so far. But if you look at the tries scored, tries against, England 78 tries scored, 30 conceded. Wales 79 scored and 35 conceded. So their records are very, very similar.
Yeah. It's just been those single games, and no, I think you're right though, especially with some of the experience in the England team. That's a great score. That's such a good read, but it'd be really nice to see England and Wales meet each other again Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and it's that sort of thing from the round robin where you sort of look at that and you've got two teams who have got a gap to the rest, and you would look at that and say, well, they're the two teams who really do deserve to be there. But this is sport. It's going to be knockout sport. Anything could happen in that knockout games because different mentality, different mindset, and teams could be going into that. Well, what have we got to lose coming into this? But I think England Wales probably the most likely final in this competition. But then you've got to look at Scotland. Scotland have won the last 4 European Championships at mixed, and they're not going to want to let that title go without a fight.
No, and unfortunately, I spent most of my England mixed career on the end of being beaten by Scotland in finals. So at some point, it'd be nice to watch an England gold at the Mixed Open. I think Scotland have changed things around a little bit this year. We spoke to Eddie Sandman before about the women's Open coach about how European touch is now focused a little bit more on men's and women's, and in Scotland especially, they've gone really heavy with the men's Open. So a lot of their experienced mixed boys have actually moved over to the men's. So I think it'll be a while. If that stays how it is, I think it'll be a while before Scotland are able to compete at that level again. I keep saying it, but I think it's England's to lose this year. I think Wales and France are their best competition, and judging off this morning, we'd love to see that again. England vs France is going on right now, just behind us. I'm just trying and get the score for it. Can't seem to find it. I might just have to do the run over and ask somebody.
So Jordan's just going to see if he can get a score from the England-France game, which is going on right now. Wales almost getting the perfect start to the second half there with a try. Just came out of the hands though, and Netherlands can start again. It's a drive towards their sub box, but 2 touches used already, and that's the third as they approach halfway. Good handling. 4th touch now. Comes back inside. Got some good yards here, but that is 5th touch. They need something to happen here. Oh, and there's a bit of space. Come out! He was down, but unfortunately the touch came in. Great play by Pam Grafflin.
Sorry, they are playing France. I've made that up. They are playing behind us anyway, so it'll be interesting to find out, because obviously two top of the table teams are going at it at the same time.
Wales coming through again.
Fly move.
Oh, and it's
that's something we didn't see this morning off Wales' transition, was that fly. I can't remember seeing it too much, so if that's something that Wales are just keeping in the bag a little bit for Saturday, that'll be interesting to see.
It's Netherlands who come over halfway, almost scoring on their last drive.
Good hands.
Good take, but I think that's all 6. and Wales have the ball back, but they're starting from quite deep.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. Good start for Wales, and maybe a little bit early to start saying that they can slow down a little bit, but
Wales just getting to the 10-metre line now. We have a score update.
yeah, so it's 3-2 to England at the minute. They're playing Jersey on field 2, so good hands, unbelievable. What a finish! Oh,
Really well, it was a great take, but then the little bit of speed to find the hole and make sure she got that down.
that was so nice. Pick up from half, move to the left, 4 on 3, there's your hole. Great pill, great hands, unbelievable. Just like a wide receiver, taking out of the air, plucking out of the sky, 2 hands, and then bringing it in for the score. That was awesome, great score.
So 10 for Wales, and Netherlands need to work really hard if they're going to get back in. This is 7 deficit as they dive through, but unfortunately I think the touch had been made. It's Theobald Bailey.
What Wales do quite well on line D is they have their links really deep. That's a good ball, left to right. Yeah, if you notice Wales on line defence, they're both middles go up really high, really fast, and put their opposition under as much pressure as possible. But the Welsh links are really deep. England exploited that this morning a little bit. Netherlands haven't been able to do that yet, or haven't looked to do it, and it was kind of similar to when we watched them on day 1 against Ireland. Ireland were running a pocket style defence, and they just weren't able to recognise and exploit it too early. So Wales back into their sweeper plays now, and they'll give it QB right to left over the top, pill forward. I think the referee's going to give forward, but she's given offside against the Netherlands, so it wasn't given because it's a forward pass, but Netherlands were offside.
So fresh set of 6 for Wales.
Yeah, that was a nice play, really well set up, little progression on those sweepers that they've been running. Kind of the next sort of phase on that sweeper play, it's giving it straight back to the half, and they'll go into sweepers again. This time they'll run the sweeper. Good D from Netherlands. So they were looking for that set back. James Enyon's coming off his right foot this time, and he's looking to hit that first hole. And it was just closed quite quickly from the Netherlands defence and forced the error. That was a good little bit of D from Netherlands, and they'll work their way to the box now.
Yes, the Netherlands get a fresh set on.
Third touch, but they're stuck in their own half now, and they've not come on quick enough there, and now they're stuck. They're going to have to drive hard, generate a bit of momentum and speed. They've got to go forward here. Can't be going sideways. Can't get caught here. That's 5th. Oh, I think the referee's given an extra touch here.
There is a touch.
Yeah, a little bit of a stunted set then.
Bradley Bonifacio, who has scored a try for Netherlands in the game, but he just ran out of options there.
Yeah, just slowed down a little bit. Wales, good midfield D. I think they've obviously looked back on the England game this morning. If they could have put England under a bit more pressure, just like they did then, they might have got the win. Dan Roberts happy to just hand the ball over there and get caught from dummy half. No need to exert a great deal of speed as he's trying to get through there at the minute. Wales can kind of slow it down a little bit. For now, Netherlands will just be looking to get something from this game, I think.
Running through, but stopped in their tracks. They still have the ball. Reagan Kirk gets it back now.
It's a little bit of a pet hate of mine, that when you're on 4th touch and a player is trying to beat their opposite player, or trying to run round somebody, or not get the ball down, but then when they get caught, that's 5th touch, and you've got no momentum, and you're trying to generate momentum from a static play. Good defence. So what you want to be looking to do on fourth touch is generate momentum for fifth touch. So your fifth touch, especially off your sub-in, your fifth touch is then a middle scoop, or a play that is threatening and catching your opposition on the back foot. When you get to fourth, you don't want to be looking to run something rogue where you're trying to run around somebody, or getting flicked on the back and then having to bring it back, and it just slows everything down. And you kind of notice that the better teams, that rarely happens. It is a little bit of an error. I would class it as a mistake, really.
Wales again, who got good yards there, getting towards the 7-metre line. Down it goes now.
That's good defense from the Netherlands. I mean, the winger.
The wings were covered really well as well.
The wings covered on this side, the short side. If he's able to throw 4-on-3 off to his right, it's a tough pass. But that's the reason we give it. That's the reason we allow that space to be open, because the pass is so tough. And yeah, that was good D from the Netherlands. They're closing the two first gates quite quickly though. But Wales happy to go back into quickies.
Diving in.
So there, that middle channel is too loose for me. If I'm the non-touching Netherlands middle, you've got to get tighter, you've got to get under. It's a little bit too loose at the minute. 4-on-3 Amberley Ruck. I think that was touch pass, but very threatening play. It's nice that, really good to see that. You'll notice the better teams, the top level teams, and in mixed, I suppose, for the European Championships, England, France, Wales, they use their girl links in line attack, because it's essentially like playing with four boys, and that's what separates the good teams, really. That's nice, good little tip on. We'll get those extra yards. Just moving the ball up the field. Good play from Netherlands. So they'll break into their line attack now. Quickie to start. Pick up, short side, comes back. I thought that was going to the link on the far side. I thought Stoik was in, hitting that hole then. Good feet, extra yards. Netherlands are having to turn and come back. Amberley Ruck drives up the sideline.
Wales, patient build up so far as they get 10 metres into the Netherlands half.
Back to the middle.
7
And
metre.
QB right to left, maybe forward
there.
I thought he was going to throw it on that first little pump off his right hand. I don't think he needed to pump it twice. I think straight away, if he'd have ripped over the top, that would have been a nice little play. Wales are loving running those sweeper QBs at the minute. We didn't see them too much this morning against England. Maybe they didn't see anything in running that against England, but they're having a little bit of joy with it at the minute. They're just not able to execute.
Netherlands at halfway. The final touch. And they're just not taking on the wing, and Wales have the ball back. It's not been as high scoring in this second half. Both defences tightened up somewhat.
It feels like Wales have probably slowed down a little bit. They just seem like they've slowed down a touch and happy to sort of drag out their sets as long as possible, just get to a 33 scoop and short side are open. And that's happened a few times now, and I don't think they'll be that disappointed with it. I think they might look at points difference. I'm not sure how close they are with France, but that could be one to look at. I suppose they might play them again, but
they'll go minus after this game. Netherlands, where it will be a big boost to Wales' points difference, especially as you say, it's 3. It was 3-2 to England, so if that stays close, that's going to give Wales a really good advantage.
Yeah, and might be one to look at. It doesn't seem that there's too much energy going into the Wales rucking at the minute. It's just back and forth. I don't think we've heard a ref blow a whistle for a while. It's we've just seen. It seems like when you're in training and both you're just practicing your subbing against each other. One team's having one transition, then the other team, the space on the left here, through for the first time in a while.
Oh,
Good
well
score. That's great. Beauty.
Patient play.
Beauty.
And he didn't
really
panic
nice.
when he got into the end
No,
zone either.
and that's good experience. He's got through. So what you want to do here as a scooper, get through as quick as possible, get to the edge of the in goal, then you can look for your mates, get free, get low. What they've done well as well there, the pass could have been lower to the floor, but it was a nice low pass, so the scorer didn't have loads to do. So he could literally dive as he was catching, and it was really nice.
Stefan Prother putting the ball over.
For a while, Netherlands were doing well to defend that, and they just couldn't do it for long enough. Good D from Wales, and the ball's free. Ooh, offside. Yeah, it's going to be a call offside there.
Fresh set of 6 for Netherlands, a chance for them to get their first score of the second half. So fresh set of 6. 5 touches left as Bonifacio goes through. Touch was claimed, so they'll have to go back to 7.
I think I'll just be looking at that link hole if I'm Netherlands. If he comes, Bonifacio comes off his left foot here. That link hole is quite loose, but she's given ball down. Good score, good score. I think Netherlands are really enjoying those quickie plays, and they've got 4 scores from them. I think if they can add a few more attacking weapons or threats to their arsenal, I think that they could be a real threat. And we spoke about it yesterday. I think it was with the Belgian women's team, in that a lot of it is a learning process, and what they think for Netherlands. Obviously, we mentioned that they weren't at the Euros last time, I don't think.
Let's see.
In the mixed open?
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't. And it's great to see them back at the Euros, because I was so used to playing them in mixed open, and they've got there's a good club scene in Netherlands as well. Like when we play at GIF in Paris every year, there's a good 3, maybe 4. There's at least 2 or 3 teams that enter that tournament, and they're always good teams. So it's good to see them back. I think what you'd want to see now from this Netherlands side is to progress for the rest of this cycle towards World Cup. So for the core group of this team to stay together for next Euros, they'll take so much from this. And I've said it yesterday, but the issues come is when people drop off next year and it's replaced with a new team and a new bunch of faces. If they can keep this group together, learn, progress, get better for next year, then you've got that experience as well. And the World Cup the year after, we're in the middle of this current cycle, and it's all about preparing for the World Cup, and that's what you want to see from these teams.
So is it World Cup 23 or 24?
24. So we've got Euros again next year. It was pushed back because of COVID. World Cup was pushed back because of COVID, and they've put an extra Euros in there, which I think is a good idea, because it's going to give teams like Netherlands, it gives everyone more game time. That's what we want. We want more game time against good opposition in Europe. We want to improve each other, but not only that, improve ourselves for when we get to World Cup and we play against New Zealand, we play against Australia. That's what we want. We want European touch to be up there, and that's what the aim of these tournaments is.
Indeed it is.
Counties from Dan Roberts, step inside, come off his right hand, big pill.
Long pass, I think that's forward.
Yeah, sideline ref got it. Dan won't be happy with that one. Gives a little hand to say sorry to his teammates.
3.5 minutes remaining in this one.
Yeah, they'll be happy to just put this game on ice now. Wales have been good. I think I wouldn't say they've been clinical or ruthless. Maybe they feel like they don't really have to be. Get the win, ease off a little bit, rest up tonight, come back tomorrow, and we go again. because like we said this morning, Friday, Saturday, that's when you start feeling sore, that's when you start feeling those little niggles. So yeah, Wales will be happy with this. They've got the win. They've not had to, you're on the live stream, so you don't want to show too much, because England will review this game. England will have a look at it, and Justin Conway and Gabriel Pennington will have a look and see if there's anything else that they've ran. I've been really impressed with Amber Ruck. The way she moves upfield with the ball in two hands, she just skips around people and gains a good extra 5-10 metres for when they come on for attack. And that's a great pill over the top. What a pill! Left hand, great finish.
Great pass, great take. Sarah Carson puts the ball down.
Carson's done so well there, just dots it down. So yeah, it's just a pick up against the grain. Left hand throw over the top. Carson takes it, dots it down. Beautiful.
Despairing dive.
Yeah, just trying to put them under that pressure, and they'll go back into that tap off move for Netherlands. Heavy little touch there. Referee's happy with it. Interesting. So we'll just work their way back at the box, and the tap off move we saw early on, it's a 32 short, but they're way too far out for it to be effective. So they go straight into a 33 scoop, and that's fifth touch. Again, you kind of caught static on fifth, and it's always tough to get anything from it. I'd be relatively happy with this if I'm Wales. I think they could have been a little bit more ruthless maybe, and like I said, they've not had to show too much. I spoke about it before. You'll know when Wales are feeling under the cosh. Nice. Back to one. Is that give it? You know when Wales will be under the cosh, because Dan Roberts is going to have to pull a few more things out of the bag, and he'll start picking up from half on those sweepers, and he's
similar to what happened this morning against England.
No, he's not had to do that, and we spoke about it in the England-Ireland game yesterday. I don't think either team opened their playbook or went too deep into their playbook yet. I think we're going to see a lot more on Saturday, and for teams like Wales, England, France in the mixed open, maybe even Scotland as well, I think they might be holding a few things back. And when you know your opposition's watching, Amber Ruck on her counties, right hand. Good bit of defence from Netherlands, but the wing was open there. 20
seconds remain, so this is going to be
let's have a nice little play to finish. Could be a counties relay, I think. No, we're going to go 32. Nope. There was a bit of miscomms. Amber Ruck. That was a shame.
James Enyam racing through into the hole, but he just couldn't quite grab the ball.
That was nice. That was a really nice little play. Really nice little play. Oh, what a shame.
So, at the end, it is a very good victory for Wales. They finish the game 13-4, and they'll be happy with that, because that could have been a potential banana skin for them.
Could have been, yeah. We've seen Netherlands 3 times now, and they seem like they've improved every time. So yeah, I'd be happy with that if I'm Wales. I think Netherlands will be disappointed that they let the game get away from them so quickly. It would have been nice to stay in that arm wrestle for a little bit longer. I think we're going to have Fawn Summers up from Netherlands in a little bit to have a chat about how she thinks the tournament's going so far. So that'll be interesting to get her thoughts on this game.
Well, coming up next, we've got the women's open round robin between Belgium and Ireland, and Belgium, who of course on here earlier. So we will see what they can do against the Irish, but we are going to head back to the studio where Ian, I believe, has got a mascot update.
Yeah, thanks, Jono. I certainly do. First of all, congratulations to Wales. A fantastic performance. Now, today is the 3rd day of the European Championships. That means it's Capture the Mascot Day. A few times we've done this throughout the course of the day. We've had a pink flamingo, we've had a pink sheep, we've had a giant unicorn as well. What it means is every single team has their own mascot. Capture the Mascot means anybody can go around and steal that mascot, bring it up to the pavilion, and there might be a forfeit for the person who's lost that mascot. Now, as you can see in front of me, I have 2 lines, not 3 lines, 2 lines. You may be forgiven for thinking both of them are from England, but they're not. This one